This is Singani village, about 20 kilometers on the outskirts of Choma town in southern province. Like many rural areas of Zambia, Singani village and its inhabitants have to face daily challenges of poverty. – 15-year-old Wendy Munkombwe is getting ready for another school day. Many girls of her age have long dropped out of school due to poverty, forced into early marriages for a few kwachas, while others cannot cope with a long distance to school. Wendy's continued pursuit of education is also threatened. Her family is impoverished and barely surviving.
Bana bangu ndagomena sijisi irubono rwa utetinga ndirago hawutininga bana bangu ndirabayisha abo ibagiya nondikumbira kugwahigwa kuzintu byonse ezyo
mburi mumuzo muno motukala ijiriyo kujikama muntu twitubwede kuti kali yasindisha twepali tulatokwanisi kamboga kuti mburi sya fertilizer ziradura fertilizer kuora kasaka ngu 269 lino ponya mburi ndiswe mburi mugwashuno kukama tatu isirubono rwakamana kuwa ponya penzero lyatieni ndi party pacho tulomba ikuisi kwambo twerede kuti tuchane kunoli chane na zimwi na arukwasho wenda mukuisikwa.
Walking 30 kilometers to and from Singani East Primary School is not easy. Worse off on an empty stomach. Wendy is not deterred but focused on her ambitions. Her performance in class is good.
Urasola ujitakapo tuvia oro isipepa syabolesyo sobanga bamayi balemba kuti bobo mbajita bamba bo kuti ujitakapo tumujigoro.
School authorities have seen it all. Many pupils stopping school prematurely.
Most of the children come from faraway places. As such, when they come to school, they have to come running so that they try to beat time. But in most cases, they are late. You find sometimes some of them come late and they will be hiding in fear that maybe they will be punished. You see, some of them, that's what they will be thinking. But usually, we just encourage them to at least early. Those who have relatives nearby, they can try to come and stay with relatives nearby. But usually it's never the best solution because there are many people who come from far. Yes. So obviously, when they come to school running, they are tired. And when they are tired in class, attention and concentration is never as it's supposed to be. the parents at home, they know that he has come to school. Meanwhile, he's just moving a small distance from home and he's behind the auntie with friends they are playing. Then when the friends come back from school, they also join. But they will just come to get that when, as teachers, because we are tracking their attendance. We track their attendance because we have to know the children that are attending school and those that are absent, because we don't encourage absenteeism. So when we follow up, we ask the parents. That's when they will be shocked to say, this child every day, you say, I'm going to school. And we know that he has left. We even see that he has left. But we have just also come to know that after just walking a short distance, they will meet with friends and maybe they will be playing, they will hide somewhere.
Wendy's parents are resolved to support her, but fear the long distance to school could have a bearing.
Imisinzo kobenda bana nkule ponya. Number 2, ibana muminzi omuno kuli izili jazyo zimwi izyapenzi yabana wani bambalako abana gwinda mu marwazi ponya tusoleka kulomberera kuti bati tulajana mumwi tulajana ziyo syakuyisya abana kuti bede kuti bajane ikuyisi kwambo berede ikuje syankwela ponya. Number 2, ibana gwenda na musinzo ngobenda mbuli bana mbotu jisoko no kujibera kuli jindi janhula ibana bachana mapenzi kuli tulonga tuzubugwa ponya ayo mapenzi ala tulwana
dijene buyu muyu ibana kambi ngaboneka ibana bagumuka kujikora agambo kakura mpabobo ponya kunzawawo ibana ningandira yo ngaboneka kujanika kuti ndize ngakura bantenda ya uteti ngamuntu ramujata nkambo kamusinzo yo mura mujisogomo kambo kamusinzo mura.
Financial difficulties is another challenge standing in Wendy's way of feathering in her education dreams. Both her parents are unemployed and struggling in their farming endeavors. An observation conducted around in this area found that due to the distances and poor standards of life, marriage remains the best solace. Wendy's auntie, Lola Munkombwe, has bared witness to this more than once.
Fajana penzi kubana basimbi abarombe. Muguti jigoroji igure fatari yaguronga abantu benda bakara mu town gure basa kuromberera mwana. Ndaromba mwana anoyo amudipendeza mboti ndagumusunga ndiza uloya. Ponya umupa mwana muntu oyo. Poya twajana penzi yakuti mwana inka kubusera kumuntu nguta hihire wenda nanika mpienderaho. Mwana unjira muntenda. Ndiza wakubuhida mu bogesi mu kopi ndiza jakuvora nchiyanga ngisa kudabarika buyo. Peso muzari bali wenda ukala mwana ago agutika tukumketa ngwe wenda na amisinzo. Akubura wauti ndizo ndikitira jerede mponya opa muntu mwana. Mwana inke mutayo inke kujigora musinzo urampando wajana gasimbi musira mwensankwa buya. Twapenga no tulabalombe milande etatujigwa nzigirunga pe muguti bana musinzo mugurampa wando etawando kenabengi nabamuyunga gatenzi atugiti. Unobaya kuti kujigora wani wawinka gombi kwa mwati waketa mwana muntu mwana musankwa. Ibe ampari penzi ba penzi lyo tuli jisiga tugomena rogo. Ili agubura lyatupa kutegaga buto tukasambara kubana buto jisi muntu agwenena kuti dipe mwana kaguyise jopa. Jakuvora kisakura barika bojana jakunjira muzirindi. Ndisa wafa ojana marwasi.
Distance to schools is not the main challenge that the villagers in this area are facing. Water and lack of basic amenities seem to rot the lives of the villagers in Singani village.
Mapenzi ngetupengete ngamanzi sekwejikuju pe tunywa mu muronga muhiba ilinywa ibabwa na ngombe.
Mbuli wano mazuba mbuli menda ngotunywa iwagama. Ngombe yanjira yanywa imubwa wanjira wanywa ponya swala sotu kwa mara twatieni twanywa ponya yele yatubeda penzi.
Civil Society for Poverty Reduction facilitates a platform for civil society and local community empowerment to effectively participate in governance systems for pro-poor development.
As civil society for poverty reduction, when we were formed initially, we were formed with the sole purpose of inputting in national development plans. And this was coming from a background of poverty reduction strategy papers. And the idea was to see how is it that as civil society we can be able to come together to ensure that we influence policies that government is making to be able to ensure that they're pro-poor in nature. And over time, we have evolved to even, apart from the usual process of us participating in the formulation of national development plans, but also monitoring those plans. So it's important for us to interact with the citizens on the ground, and hence for us to even go down and look at a family case scenario where we're able to look at what are some of the challenges they're facing as a family unit. Well, ultimately, it's important to understand the hardships of the citizens, because it's those kind of hardships that are going to inform pro-poor policies. So the kind of relationship that we try to build with our communities is, first of all, that to see to it that they're involved in every aspect of policy formulation. This is active participation, citizen active participation, but also apart from that, that we create an enabling environment through our advocacy work for them to be able to access quality basic services. This is in terms of what is being delivered by government. We look at aspects such as health, education, infrastructure, water and sanitation, and also looking at the aspects of basic human rights, talking about shelter, health, food, and so on. So to what extent is the Zambian citizen, especially those in rural Zambia, where we have the highest levels of poverty, to what extent are they being able to meet their basic needs? And it's really bringing it down to the basic questions of survival and livelihood, and nothing technical. And what kind of interventions can be done.
Cspr also provides space for the local communities to present and put forward their views, concerns and aspirations.
Citizens need to come alive to the fact that they have the power. At the end of the day, they are the voters, and they have the power to make the change. Civil society and other stakeholders just come in there to try and improve or speak on their behalf, as we claim to do, to just increase that voice and stand with them in solidarity. But in fact, what we try to do ultimately is translate and empower the communities to be able to speak on their own and be able to demand for these public services. So as a result of this, we do not end at just highlighting the issues. We also go further by building their capacity to be able to understand what channels are available for them to engage with their respective government agencies, with their respective leaders, so that they can be able to demand and hold those that are supposed to be held accountable to account. And this has worked. One of the things that we do is we call it the Budget Execution and Service Delivery Monitoring Exercise, where we actually involve community members themselves to be able to monitor public services, but also to monitor the performance of the national budget. And out of this, we have had areas where case in points, Eastern Province, also in Northwestern, where these amenities were not there. At some certain health clinic, I will not mention the name for the sake of the staff there. At some point, the services were being provided by security guards. And after the interventions, the community went in there, and after some time, midwives were recruited and seconded to that clinic. We also had frontline service personnel being sent to that clinic. Another case in point in Northwestern of the bridge, where people were actually cut off in terms of road network. It so happened as well that after community involvement and also being able to understand where they can be able to go and demand for these services, services were taken to them. So citizens actually do not realize how much power they have. And it's our role to build that so that they can be able to hold government to account. And we're hoping that out of this illustrations, the citizens that are involved, the community there, will be able to start now demanding for these services to be taken to their community.
According to statistics, more than 16,000 girls dropped out of school last year due to early marriages and pregnancies. Poverty and in some cases, long distances to school are cited as reasons for the high number recorded, with the end results being a continued cycle of poverty for most of the girls. Wendy represents the challenge of poverty, access to education, and other injustices facing many girls, mostly in rural areas, which ultimately hamper realization of their full potential.